This video contains major spoilers for Persona 5 Royal. The 7th card in the tarot deck. Number 6, the Lovers. It represents harmony, choice, and balance. In the Persona series, the Lovers is associated with a female party member who comes to a crossroads in their life. They must determine how their moral values align with their own conflict, particularly in regards to personal relationships. And that is no different for Persona 5. The Lover's Arcana is that of Takamaki. I'm Ouroboros. Let's talk. If you missed my video on the Fool's Journey, I'd recommend that you watch it before jumping into this series. It goes over the Fool's Journey and gives a brief rundown of each of the major arcana, so go check it out. Anyway, like I said earlier, the Lover's Arcana reflects a female party member who struggles to find balance in their life. In tarot cards, the Lovers is associated with many things and has actually shifted meanings over the years. Originally, it represented a crossroads, or two paths that you could take in life. However, over the years, the Lovers has evolved into meaning, well, love. The goal is to show the Fool that there is harmony in life, and one must compromise to find that level of unity with someone. Perfection is impossible, and there are always multiple choices, usually an easy path and a right path. The Lovers is an extension of the Hierophant, who taught the Fool the structured systems of this world. The Lovers then force the Fool to find his own values and philosophies in life, which will guide him towards developing a self-realizing worldview. The Lovers is usually depicted with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. They're being watched over by the Archangel, Raphael. Simultaneously, we can see the temptatious snake on a tree filled with forbidden fruit behind Eve. So, even in the card, we have balance. A man and a woman, angel and demon. Raphael is also known as the patron saint of lovers and the guardian of the Garden of Eden. On's story is one that mainly focuses on balance within the context of a few personal relationships. The first of which is the struggle between her, Kamoshida, and Shiho. This is the first of many choices and paths On must walk. Initially, she chooses the easy path. She gives in to Kamoshida's advances in exchange for guaranteeing Shiho's spot as a starter on the volleyball team. It's not until we talk with her in Shibuya that she begins to break. However, as many Persona 5 players know, the most devastating part comes the very next day. Shiho's suicide attempt is directly a result of On's rejection of Kamoshida. The game all but directly states that Kamoshida sexually assaulted her, and so, at yet another crossroads, On takes a different path. She chooses what her past self could not, a path of rebellion. This is confirmed inside the castle during her awakening. Instead of giving in to Kamoshida's sexual desires, she fights back and embraces the femme fatale archetype that accompanies her persona, Carmen. In just this arc, On has embraced the Lovers through various choices. Her life before meeting Joker was filled with imbalance, conflict, indecision, and a lack of any sense of agency. However, just by taking part in the first heist of Kamoshida's palace, she embraced her rebellious spirit and became one of the founding members of the Phantom Thieves. This is obviously not an easy choice. It would have been much easier to live a life only being told what to do. There's even a quick mention of her initial feelings when talking to one of the caged shadows in the depths of Mementos. She agrees that she used to think like the shadows, that living a life of compliance was the only option. But now, because of Joker and the rest of the team, she's found a new mindset, a new way of looking at life. The only way you can truly be happy and fulfilled is to take agency in what you do and in how you live life. It's possible that, prior to defeating Kamoshida, we might have seen On in the Prison of Sloth, but I digress. Of course, we do still need to talk about On's confidant. But before we do that, I do want to interject a bit of my own opinion into her confidant. Why don't we see Shiho here? She plays such a big role in On's character and in the confidant, and then just shows up randomly at rank 9? Hell, why didn't Shiho have her own confidant? That just seemed like such a gimme to me, and I don't understand why Atlas chose to include Mika of all people instead. I don't even dislike her as an inclusion, but it just seems like an odd choice. Okay, rant over. So yeah, like I said, the main focus of Ann's confidant is her relationship with Mika, and the fallout between her and Shiho following the Kamoshida incident. We get a deeper dive into Ann's modeling career. Well, I say career, but it's more like a hobby for her at the start, and this causes a lot of tension between her and Mika. Mika is dead set on what she's doing, but Ann is just coasting through her own natural talent. After learning of this, Mika essentially begins to start sabotaging Ann's career through, well, immature actions. Ann, naturally, gets angry and begins to become even more serious. This relationship almost reminds me of Neiman and Fletcher from Whiplash if you've ever seen that film. Mika pushes Ann in a not-so-gentle way, but the two eventually come to a sort of truce at rank 10. Ann recognizes that Mika is exactly like the type of woman she used to love, the wicked, strong, and beautiful villains. Sound familiar? Mika is another take on the femme fatale that Ann awakened to. At the same time, Mika agrees to compete in a fair way and not pull any more tricks with her. That's all well and good, but I really need to address the rank 9 scene on the rooftop with Shiho. After deciding to transfer schools, Shiho brings Joker and Ann to the rooftop of Shujin to say goodbye one last time. This is another one of the crossroads we see in her confidant, but it doesn't end in the way we want it to. Ann and Shiho say their goodbyes. They say that they'll stay in touch, but let's be honest, we know that at some point, they'll never speak to each other ever again. This is the hard path to choose, but deep down, I think we all know it's the correct one. Shiho needs to get away from Shujin, and Ann needs to let go of her friend. It's what's best. And even though it's painful, sometimes that's what we need. Of course, as hard as that choice is, we see that what Ann truly desires is just enjoying life with Shiho. In the third semester, the two are as happy as can be. Shiho is transferring back, and the pain of the Kamoshida incident is completely erased, thus erasing all sense of choice that Ann had. Ann had to go through a lot in the early stages of Persona 5. Between the sexual harassment and the suicide attempt of her best friend, she wasn't given an easy path to walk. However, through her own sheer will, and of course the help of her friends, she was able to carve her own path. Still a path that wasn't easy, but then again, perfection is never possible with the lovers. It's her relationships with those around her that allow her to push through and continue forward. Ann's growth in understanding the choices she makes and fostering relationships around her is the culmination of her journey as the lovers of Persona 5. Thanks for watching.